Hi, everybody. We will be live in 1 minute. I'll see you in 1 minute. If you do have any challenges at the moment, then feel free to put them in the chat and we will get into it shortly. Alrighty. How are you doing? I have fortunately just got oh no, I thought I had success, but I've got the mighty blue screen of death on on the Voice Live 3 tonight, so it could be a little interesting, but we're gonna roll with it anyway. And then if you've got questions and things like that, then I can still loop. It's a little bit autopilot of knowing what I'm doing with the pedal, but it'll all work out good. Bit of the fun of having a unit that has its moments, shall we say. And to those of you that absolutely sweet with the Voice Live 3 and have never had any issues, I'm super happy for you. But hey, Bishop, how's it going? Good to see you as well. It's nice to be back online. I've done too many gigs in the last 10, 14 days, which has been great, but I was wiped out yesterday. I was really wiped out. Slept a lot, drank a lot of water, and just trying to kind of get back to a little normal state of functioning. So yeah, it's nice to be back online, and today feeling much better. I have interestingly, I still can sing now, even when I get sick and run down. From what I learned, it's definitely not. It doesn't feel as nice, and it's not quite as good as if I was happy and healthy. But it's nice to know that I can still turn up and do a show. And it doesn't take me out of that, which is cool. So nice to have you here, Robert. Greetings from Cape Town. You're in NZ often. Well, let's keep in touch. Let me know when you're next. Let me know when you're next around. Could be hard at the moment. I don't know, but maybe you're from New Zealand and just in Cape Town at the moment. Yeah, I broadcast at midnight. Bishop, where in the world are you? I'm curious. And happy midnight. I hope you've got some snacks handy. Hey, Sean. Good morning. Hey, Dom. Nice to see you here. LV, Las Vegas. Cool, man. Nice. Hi, welcome. I haven't been there. Have to add it to the list to come and visit at some stage. And again, for tonight, I thought we'd throw out like a topic if there's issues and that sort of thing. My biggest issue right now, and actually there's no signal, so let's just put it on cam, is tonight's Voice Live 3 image. Let's see if this shows up. If I don't unplug it by doing this. That, my friends, is a completely blank blue screen. I have done several gigs with the Voice Live 3 like this because it all still absolutely works, but you have no clue what is actually going on in terms of the screen and, whether you're on the loop screen, the vocal screen. You can tell, obviously, by the colors of the layer switch. But apart from that, if you've got a loop recorded or not, it's a bit of a gamble. As I say, I have done a bunch of gigs like that, and fortunately, I'm familiar with the pedal and enough to be able to clear and get through looping from memory, I guess, of button layouts. But it does make for an interesting show, and it's interesting that this is back. So, yeah, Bishop. Actually, I can now. It's something that's been on my radar, and I hadn't thought about it, but there is a video I put out which has my acoustic settings on the VL3, but I realized obviously I can upload the settings that I use and put them online. So I need to grab the cable. It's not with me at the moment, and then I will share them online. And yeah, for those of you that want to grab stuff and copy them, use them, that will be an option. So please remind me. It feels like I'm doing 101 things at the moment, probably because I am. It's been very busy and hectic, but all good. So I will share those. And right, Robert, your son and his family in Auckland. Awesome, cool. Keep me posted when you're over next, when that maybe becomes an option for all of us. Dov, my main issue with 2 tracks recording Looper is that I can't keep a free channel for steady rhythm and build a 2-part section song because of that. It is a challenge. Are you using the Ditto from memory? I could be wrong. Nice. So yeah, that is a challenge with only two loops. Then if you've got a verse and a chorus, you have to build the rhythm with each part, which is possible, but it takes a long process to build those, I guess. You've got, let's say you've got 4 chords for the verse. You would need to play those 4 chords and then loop whatever groove you're putting in. And then for part 2, you would need to do the same thing. The Ditto X4. So yeah, that's really the only way, is a bit of a longer guitar build. Let's see how we go with this mighty blue screen. So should we do you understand that, right? Like if you were to do part 1, whatever that is. And we're not going to hear any loops yet. So you'd have to add in whatever your rhythm is over top for the whole. Did I start at the start? Maybe not quite. Overdubbing. So let's just add that in. There we go, just missed a beat. You'd have to add that in, and then on track B, if I was kind of to do a B section for this, we might have. So if that was my B section, I'd have to overdub again to get that rhythm in. And the best would be being in serial mode. I'm in smart mode at the moment. I'm not going to try and change that from memory with this blue screen staring at me. But so I'd just stop at a beat before to get back to that first one. And then same story. Maybe play over it to get through that transition. But you can do serial mode on the Ditto X4, and then it will nicely play the next one. So yeah, it's basically the only thought I have around it, other than using using some other recorded groove into the track that you're playing along with. But then that provides all sorts of complications too, because you're going to want to stop that once it's recorded into your loop. If you were using, say, a mixer before your loop to add in other inputs and grooves. So yes. No, the Eros Loop Studio. I have not tried this. It does look interesting. I am definitely intrigued and have looked into it. It's not something that I have or use. I'm a little bit hesitant having only 3 buttons as the control options, but I think like anything, you're going to get used to it. You're going to get used to being able to stop certain tracks, start them together, that sort of thing. It takes a little bit of learning and practice on the specific pedal. So, yeah, nice. Yeah, curious if anyone else has got any particular issues or challenges that they're running into looping, whether it's timing, whether it's sequence of setting up chords, grooves, that sort of thing. Yeah, but as always, this is open to whatever appears for you. I kind of just, again, making a weekly time to jump on, and if I can be of use to you, then feel free to fire away. And if not, we can just hang out and chat, and I will drink coffee and go from there. Cool. Yeah. Honestly, if TC Helicon remade this where it just worked, it would be superb. That'd be great. Hey, Paul. Cheers, man. Nice to have you here. And Bishop, I'd love for you to run down your process for arranging a new song. Okay, cool. Let's absolutely do that. Do you ever find sometimes if you stuff up a loop, it somehow comes out better than the original? I'm not sure I've had that experience, Paul. I guess it depends on the extent of the stuff up. I have had some odd things that have gone into loops that I've then been like, I kind of like it. But more often than not, there's a weird sound, or I've had some feedback or something odd happen that it's kind of like, okay, well, tonight that's just part of the loop. So it's a love-hate relationship, I think, with some of those things. I've had it come out worse than the original. Yes, I've had many loops come out worse than the original. Absolutely. Cool. Let's go through the... We'll talk about, just in terms of arranging a new song, I've had on my radar for ages to do... what's the song? We Don't Talk Anymore. Charlie Puth and Selena Gomez. Let's see if I can get back to the looper here. And I haven't really put it all together yet, but we can kind of put the basics of it together. It's 4 chords. From memory, it's where are we? A, B, C minor, C sharp minor, I should say, and A flat minor. And that's just a loop. There's a nice guitar picking pattern. There's a couple of rhythms and things in the track. And I just started picking out what's the overall groove for this. Given it's one set of chords, there's a lot of different ways I could do it in terms of timing and setting up the loop. You could put anything Yeah, that's the verse and the chorus. The whole thing is it's super high as well. We don't talk anymore. What was all of it for? Dun, 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 dun. I just dun, 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 dun. Must be a good reason that you're gone. So this will be interesting with what comes out of my made up vocals, what I remember. But in terms of getting this happening, the bridge is the same chords. It's just a breakdown. Whatever their I can't remember the words at all. So great example. Nice one. I've awarded myself 10 points for walking you through a song that I don't know, but in a funny way, I'm kind of like this is literally me figuring out how to do it. And so I figured that I'd start with the groove, simply because, and this may change, but because with the Voice Live 3, I have 2 separate tracks. I can record a really light something to get started, and then add in the chords. And I in the process of doing this, I changed the key so I could actually sing it, because I really don't want to. Yeah, absolutely. The entire thing is all the same. So all we're really talking about in this song is dynamics. And so having 2 tracks, it means that there's an option to have all of them cut out completely and just me play. There is the option to have 1 track running and play with it or not play with it, and then both tracks running, either or track on its own at any point. So hey Florian, welcome. Thanks for joining us. We're currently, if you've just jumped on, currently kind of breaking down a little bit of how I learn a new track, and I just started looking at it. It's We Don't Talk Anymore by Charlie Puth and Selena, or featuring Selena Gomez, however that is. So I literally went through it at a gig on Sunday, kind of like an experimental version where I just had lyrics and was like just very cruisy, Sunday afternoon. But yeah, we could either go with putting these chords in, and I'm going to change it to, again, I'm tuned to E flat, but this would be, if you're standard tuning, D flat, E flat, F minor, and then C minor 7. So we could just start with Fall to the Floor if we want for it, and have that be. So that's our, and then we've got, I'm going to just do a chill. Because I haven't learned the picking pattern, and I kind of like the idea of doing a more folksy version. So this is, now I have Fall to the Floor on track 1, so I'm going to leave it as just a rhythm track, I think. I'm going to add in this, so let's overdub that. It's a short overdub because track 1 is only 4, it's 1 bar, it's those Fall to the Floor, so it's easy to add that in. A bass line, I'm going to put the bass line on track 2 because track 2's 4 bars, it's the only one that's actually okay, so that's in. So there's really the basics of my track. I don't need to do anything now. Hey, wonderful. Isn't this fun? For those of you that don't know, I'm doing this with the blue screen of death from TC Helicon. So I should look up the words as we speak and make it up. Let's do that while we're live. We don't talk anymore with this lyrics, and we'll see what happens. So that's probably going to be the basis of my loop for this. I will look at other options. Sorry, let's just stop those for a moment. I will look at other options of perhaps recording the full 4 bars on both tracks so that I have different dynamic options, because at the moment I can only really cut back to either the rhythm and play live, okay, so, or I can, if I switch screens, I can get rid of the rhythm and have that bass line with the chords just to go over. And I could add in while I sing just enough groove to like keep it going. So but yeah, I would typically play over that, just the same chords, to change up, to mix up what's happening with the song. So we don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. What was all of it for? We don't talk anymore like we used to do. I just heard you found the one you've been looking for. I wish I would have known it wasn't me. 'Cause even after all this time I still wonder why I can't move on the way you did so easily. This is kind of the pre-chorus, I guess, if we were to, put sections in. So I might add like, don't wanna know what kind of dress you're wearing tonight, if he's holding on so tight the way I did before. Should've known your love was in game. Now I can't get you out of my brain. Oh, it's such a shame we don't talk anymore. What was all of it for? Oh, sorry. We don't talk anymore like we used to do. We don't laugh anymore. What was all of it for? We don't talk anymore like we used to do. You could put in a stop or something along the way. This is very made up. I think I'm a sucker for punishment sometimes. I did like 9 gigs in the past 10 to 11 days now, and was just exhausted because I haven't been gigging nearly that much. And now I'm really trying to sing after having lazy last couple of days. So there you go. I hope you get something out of it. That's kind of the point of it. Cool. Going back, another pedal with blue screen. Yep. It's the same pedal that now has a blue screen issue again. That it's been a long time since this has come up. So who knows? Thanks. Percussion. Just have percussion on the first loop. Yeah, Paul. For the first loop, it is just the percussion with me talking over it slightly in the background for you. And the second loop is the chords and the bass. Bishop, no worries, man. It's nice, and it's nice to do this for you guys, but it also me verbalizing and going through these things also helps me, to be honest, because I start saying things and then saying, oh, well, I could do it this way. Maybe I could rearrange it. This is literally a new track that I think I'll put together. And Shimnu and I are catching up, what day are we? In a couple of days, to have a play around with looping violin and things as well. So We will actually be using the Ditto X4 for that, simply because we've got two jack ins and outs, so we can keep our guitar, my guitar and her violin totally separate. So it's going to be a bit of an interesting process, but it's a fun process of us building our set and getting creative with what we want to do live, kind of now that we're catching up and practicing and all that again. So I apologize. Look, the Bishop, the blue screen, the white screen, whichever it is an SD card issue. So it's possibly through moving around. It's doing a bunch of gigs, setting up, packing down. It's been dislodged out of its place. I thought it would come back. I turned it off and then on again, funnily enough. And I thought there might be some joy, and it did actually. When it started up for 3 seconds, it looked normal, and then went to blue screen. So cool. Right, runs through another song that has more changes in different parts for the first bridge and chorus. Cool. I tend to do very similar. So I will have just killed that loop by turning this unit off. But I tend to keep just the groove on the first track, and then it means I still have a groove to play over for that. And factory reset unfortunately doesn't fix the blue screen. It resets everything, but so far it is now turned on and I can see what I'm doing. Magic. That's very nice of it. Let's see how long it lasts. Paul, I'm really looking forward to that, man. I'm going to be playing around with a few different loop pedals and getting back to actually filming. It's been hectic. For those of you that have been following, I've been up in Whangarei, I've been down in Christchurch, I'm now back in Auckland. I've now finished a bunch of gigs that mean I can sit down with a camera and a guitar and play and practice and get a bunch of things that have been really sitting on the sidelines and just pushed back and back, that to be honest, I've promised a couple of people videos on this channel that have not happened yet. So if that's you, I apologize. Watch the space, which is what I said last time, but I feel it's going to happen because, to be honest, I'm just going to make it happen. No more excuses. Anyway, right. Let's going through a verse and bridge and a chorus. I'm trying to think what has different sections for it, but typically, what if we? This has been a while. I don't have my octave pedal that I would normally use for this, but let's do this. Okay, so I'm just going to fill this out. This is an arrangement I pretty much stole from David Hazlitt, I think. Guess the song. I really want my octave pedal right now, but anyway. So I just overdubbed to kind of build that track up, the rhythm track, because later I'm going to use it for both the chorus and the bridge. Interesting loop today. Anyway. Well, I was so high I did not recognize the fire burning in her eyes, the chaos that controlled my mind. Well, whispered goodbye, then she got on a plane, never to return again, but always in my heart. Whoa, this love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. But I had no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Whoa. So I would normally use the octave pedal in the chorus, because then obviously the sound matches kind of what I've got here with the bass going as well, and it's really obvious through that chorus. Suddenly having there's my blue screen back. Suddenly having no bass, and coming back to this. Love it. So, and then the bridge. I'll fix these broken things, repair your broken wings, and make sure everything's alright. It's alright. My pressure on your hips, well, sinking my fingertips into every inch of you, because you know that's what you want me to do. This love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. But I had no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you imagine that I've still got the bass from the OC3, the octave pedal, while I'm playing live, you'll get a kind of sense of how that works together. There's obviously no fancy bass line in the chorus. It just changes how that's going. But then this is actually interesting. This is something it's not to do with looping, but if I'm doing obviously a much more vibrant show, is that the thing, where I want to get people dancing, I'll build up a loop track. But then I like as well just actually I'll leave it there for now. I like as well doing the simplified versions where it's like I can do a Sunday afternoon acoustic, like so arranging things that just have a different vibe. I was so high I did not recognize fire burning in her eyes, chaos that controlled my mind. Whispered goodbye and then she got on a plane, never to return again, but always in my heart. Whoa, this love has taken its toll on me. She said goodbye too many times before, and her heart is breaking in front of me. But I had no choice, 'cause I won't say goodbye anymore. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna learn to sing one day. No, I love it, but my voice is the thing that frustrates me the most, and probably gives me the most pleasure. Just the difference of spending the time to warm up and also take a break from doing shows and performing. So, Alexandre, hey man, how's it going? I love your grooves. Thanks. Appreciate it. It was kind of like a sidetracked thought, but yeah, I do really enjoy just creating different versions of the same song, because we can, but also it's sort of like depending on what you're doing as a performer playing shows, it might not be appropriate. Like if it's late on a Saturday night, it's probably not going to be quite as cool for me to just be like, as opposed to being with a full loop and kind of bass lines and all sorts of stuff. So tips on developing singing and playing coordination. A lot of it is genuinely... I'm not going to go into detail tonight because we're going to wind up pretty shortly. But the philosophy I have behind it is basically, if you test this out this week. If you're walking and having a conversation, it's pretty easy, right? Like pretty simple. Walking's not that hard. We don't have to particularly concentrate on it. But what happens if you ask someone a difficult enough question that they really have to think about it? They will stop walking. So then what I relate that to in terms of guitar playing and singing, if you haven't practiced your guitar part, so it really is automatic, you don't have to think about it, it's not hard, it's something you've done over and over and over again, then you'll be able to sing and be quite relaxed. But equally, you need to practice the singing as well, so that's not too complicated. You're not thinking too hard. And I just think walking's a great example, because if somebody stops walking, and it's not consciously, but test it out. If you're walking somewhere with a friend, if you don't ask them something really complicated, they will stop walking and attempt to answer your question. It's and you can test it out. General conversation, whatever, no worries. But it's amazing to me that even though walking is simple, there's a natural tendency that we're like, good question, like pause and stop. Yeah, it's fascinating. So philosophy-wise, it's just a case of repeating, practicing one, practice the other, and then when you put them together, realize that it's going to frustrate you. And you're going to have to then go back and practice the guitar part by itself, go back and practice the vocal part by itself, try and put them together, just keep frustrating yourself by mucking it up and doing it on repeat, basically. It's a process of frustration more than anything. But yeah, look, if anyone's got any any random questions, I'm going to have coffee and answer some questions and stop trying to sing and play the guitar for tonight. So feel free to put those in, and we'll say hi and hang out. Otherwise, I'm going to go and have some dinner, because it's dinner time rather than like nearly 1 a.m. in Las Vegas. Bishop, how's things in Las Vegas at the moment? Are you able to do shows? Are you kind of still locked down and not able to move around a whole lot, or I know everywhere in the world is different at the moment in terms of being able to perform or being stuck at home. So yeah, curious how many of you are actually out and able to play shows at the moment. I feel very lucky that for the moment anyway, in New Zealand, we're really very free to do whatever. Life is pretty much normal. Same thing with memorizing lyrics quickly. A friend of mine acts them out, sings them and acts them out, and that's his fastest way of memorizing lyrics, which I think is really good, and has helped me for getting things down quickly. I also find that with memorizing lyrics, if I can memorize the start of each verse, that tends to cue my brain, because of repetition. That starting point tends to cue my brain for the whole verse. Conversely, if I forget that starting line, if I go blank, there's definitely been times where I've just Like, I can't think of that thing at all. So, Florian, something technical about the Zoom L8. I've been meaning to get back to you about this. I honestly don't know the answer. I haven't had any latency issues with the L8. My issue beyond that is the speed and power of my laptop. When I'm running things into it, I record on there, and it's quite old now, and wasn't the fanciest option in the first place. So, depending on how many tracks I'm running and that sort of thing, I basically I changed the latency on purpose to give the computer more time to process, which is not a great way to work. Has its challenges, but I haven't noticed in terms of latency. I honestly couldn't tell you if there's a difference between that and the Focusrite. I'm kind of torn. There's probably more potential for latency with the Zoom unit, depending on how their effects and EQ and things are wired, because signal may pass through those circuits before it gets to the computer. So I wish I could answer. I don't really know is the honest answer, man. Sorry. Bishop, I'm lucky the band I play with is actually picking up gigs, but there's been okay, yeah, sure. Well, I'm glad to hear that there's gigs that are happening. So nice. Stephen, hey, how's it going? I have an issue that I physically can't see the button I need to press with my foot whilst singing. Right, cool. Yes, been there when it comes to the part where I need to bring a loop in. I have to stop singing to see. Cool. Been there. I used to do that a lot, and the thing I found is it's a little bit like muscle memory on the guitar. You'll know that there's chords that you can change to without looking, and that over time you become more and more confident moving around without looking at where your fingers are going and what's happening. I found a little bit the same with the loop pedal, is practice at home without looking and be okay with kind of moving your feet and making a mistake. And what will happen is your senses, your touch, being able to feel, okay, where's my loop pedal? You'll be able to do it without looking. But you basically, well, for me, I basically had to go through that process at home of mucking it up a few times, missing it a few times. And it's much better that you do that at home than at your shows, being like confidently and hitting nothing or the wrong button. Yeah, it's a combo of things, because that's probably what I'd say. There's a kind of, depending on how you have your mic set up and things like that as well, you can play around with it so that you can kind of sing and look down. So that might be something you want to play around with. But essentially, I would recommend getting confident, being like, sweet, I can sing, and I've got enough sight to kind of gauge where my pedal is, not necessarily to see the foot pedal and see everything perfectly, but just, okay, it's there. And your autopilot from practicing it will go and do it. So it's kind of a trust thing as well, which is hand in hand with the practice things. Yeah, practice with your eyes closed. Perfect. Bishop, I haven't ever tried looping with Mobius. There's more and more options happening. I've seen more and more people as well using the RC505 with a MIDI controller, which is pretty interesting and pretty cool. As well to see. You're welcome, Stephen. I hope that helps, man. Some of these things, it's like, I wish I had a nice, like, oh, do this, it'll totally solve it. And sometimes I'm like, oh man, sorry, it's just going to take some time. But But yeah, your legs, your muscles, your muscle memory will start to kick in if you allow yourself to make those mistakes, especially at home to start with, and be like, damn it, I totally missed it again. So cool. Yeah. Bishop, absolutely the RC505 designed to use with your hands, but now there's a lot of MIDI controllers that allow you to control it with your feet, which is pretty cool. Suddenly you've got 5 potential tracks available and all the effects and different things that is in that compared to the RC300. As well as you're driving, you should have to memorize position of your switch. I hope you're not encouraging that while he's driving, he should be. But I guess the same principle, right? When you're driving, you're not looking at where your foot pedals are to change gears, to accelerate, brake. It's very automatic. And there is, even though they're similar, there is a little bit of time where it's kind of like feels a bit clunky when you're in a new car. So I presume that's what you're saying, rather than driving down the road, visualizing your guitar pedal. Oops, I'm in the car. So nice. All right, team. Thanks very much. I'm going to sign out, and I appreciate you all being on. I hope tonight's been useful. Yeah, a bunch of different ideas and things, and appreciate you being on. As always, feel free to fire in the comments and that sort of thing. If there's something that you would like me to kind of address and do a video about, I am in catch-up mode on a bunch of videos at the moment. So appreciate your patience to those of you that I've promised a certain video. It is totally on the cards. My world's just it's been a little interesting. Let's say that. And I'm making sure that I take some time for me as well to just chill and recoup when I need to. So appreciate you being on tonight. I will look forward to saying hi and catching you all again soon. And just to answer that last question, no, I haven't tried the Headrush Looper board. It's definitely on my radar. But we'll leave it there. I'll keep you all posted on what's happening soon. Thanks, everybody, and we will catch you next Tuesday or sometime on the channel during the week. Cheers.